You feel stuck because life seems unpredictable, people betray you, opportunities slip away, and your emotions often control you instead of the other way around. But the real problem is this. You've been playing the game of life without ever understanding how it works. Understand this first truth. Life is not the world you were taught to believe in. It is not a balanced arena where virtue is rewarded, where everyone plays by the same rules, or where fairness decides outcomes. Life is a power-driven arena, a battlefield disguised behind routines, polite conversations, and social expectations. And the people who rise are not those who wish for fairness, but those who understand the forces quietly controlling everyone else. Power governs outcomes, not morality. Strategy shapes success, not intention. And those who study human nature hold an advantage greater than luck, intelligence, or resources. From the moment you wake up, the game begins. Every decision you make, every person you interact with, every reaction you show reveals pieces of your internal power or your lack of it. Yet most people play blindly, unaware that their emotions, their habits, and even their beliefs are being shaped by forces they never question. They assume good behavior will attract good outcomes. They assume being kind will guarantee loyalty. They assume honesty will earn respect. But the world does not operate on assumptions. It operates on human nature, and human nature is driven by desire, fear, ego, insecurity, attraction, and self-interest. Once you see this, the illusions fall away. Someone ignores your message not because they are busy, but because they do not prioritize you. Someone disrespects you not because they misunderstand you, but because they believe they can get away with it. Someone takes advantage of your kindness not because they are evil, but because it benefits them. When you stop blaming circumstances and start examining people, patterns emerge, patterns that reveal who is using you, who fears you, who respects you, who envies you, and who will eventually betray you. The world becomes predictable once you understand what drives people beneath their masks. And this is where power begins, not by forcing the world to be fair, but by learning how the world truly works. When you enter a room, people are already analyzing you. They are judging your confidence, your tone, your posture, and even the tension in your eyes. They are assessing whether you are someone to follow, someone to compete with, or someone to ignore. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It judges you instantly, and the ones who rise are those who understand this invisible evaluation and know how to tilt it in their favor. The weak seek fairness, the strong seek understanding. Fairness makes you passive. Understanding makes you powerful. When you understand human nature, you no longer react emotionally. You respond strategically. You begin to notice who speaks too much, who listens selectively, who flatters you for gain, who criticizes you out of envy, who stays neutral to hide fear, and who suddenly changes behavior when you grow stronger. You start to see the truth behind every action, every word, every silence. The world becomes less confusing because everything begins to make sense. Most people lose not because the world is unfair, but because they never learned the rules of the game. They trust too easily, speak too quickly, reveal too much, and expect the world to treat them kindly. They underestimate how much of life is influenced by ambition, insecurity, competition, and quiet power struggles. But when you study human nature, you begin predicting behavior before it happens. You see betrayal coming before the first lie is told. You sense manipulation before the first move is made. You detect weakness before anyone else recognizes it. And in a world ruled by power, perception is your greatest weapon. When you stop waiting for fairness and start observing reality, you gain the ability to choose your position in the game instead of being placed in one. You identify who to trust, who to distance, who to challenge, who to influence, and who to outmaneuver. You become someone others cannot easily manipulate, intimidate, or ignore. You think clearly while others think emotionally. You act with purpose while others act on impulse. And in a power-driven arena, clarity and purpose are worth more than strength or intelligence. Life rewards the strategic, not the naive. Those who ignore human nature become victims of it. Those who understand it become controllers of the game. In the game of life, the most dangerous opponent you will ever face is not another person, not society, not your circumstances. It is your own emotions. If you do not command them, they will command you. And the moment your emotions dictate your actions, you hand your power to the world. People who cannot control their emotions are predictable, reactive, and easily manipulated. People who can become untouchable. Every conflict, every mistake, every regret you carry traces back to a moment where emotion overpowered reason. Anger made you say things you should have held back. Fear made you hesitate when you should have moved. Attachment made you stay where you should have walked away. Impulse made you choose instant pleasure over long-term advantage. Emotion is not the enemy, but allowing emotion to lead is the fastest way to lose control of your own life. The world is full of people who have mastered one skill, provoking your emotions. They know how to trigger you, distract you, insult you, or lure you into reacting. Because once you react, you stop thinking. They get to lead the interaction while you simply follow the heat of your feelings. A calm mind sees opportunities. An emotional mind sees threats. A calm mind plans the next move. An emotional mind rushes into traps. And in a power-driven arena, rushed moves are fatal. You must learn to master the pause between stimulus and response, between provocation and reaction, between emotion and action. In that brief moment, power is forged. The pause allows you to observe instead of explode, to calculate instead of collapse. Machiavelli knew that the ruler who cannot rule himself cannot rule anything. If your emotions dominate you, your enemies will simply use your own fire to burn you. Think of how easily anger can be exploited. One insult, one disrespect, one challenge, and suddenly you abandon strategy for pride. You speak too much, reveal too much, act too quickly, lose too easily. Anger is the emotion manipulators rely on most, because an angry mind is a blind mind. They want you defensive, loud, unstable, because in that state you show your weaknesses openly. But when you respond with calm, you disarm them. You make them uncomfortable. You turn their aggression into their own embarrassment, because nothing frustrates an attacker more than a target who refuses to react. Then there is fear, the emotion that paralyzes kings and empowers cowards. Fear whispers that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. And if you listen too closely, you become a prisoner of hesitation. But fear, when controlled, becomes a compass. It shows you where growth is waiting, where opportunity hides, where the next powerful version of you is located. Fear should not stop you. It should inform you. It should be acknowledged but never obeyed. And what of desire? The desire for approval, validation, attention, and affection. This is the emotion most people pretend they do not have, yet secretly depend on. But desire makes you chase, and anything you chase runs from you. People sense when you need their approval. They sense when you fear losing them. They sense when you crave recognition. And the moment they sense it, they gain power over you. But when you control desire, when you detach from needing validation, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability creates respect. Controlling your emotions does not mean suppressing them. Suppression creates explosions later. It means observing them with discipline. When you feel anger, notice it without acting on it. When you feel fear, question it before obeying it. When you feel attachment, examine whether it serves you or drains you. When you feel desire, ask whether it empowers you or exposes you. Emotion becomes useful only when it is filtered through awareness. The strongest presence in any room is not the loudest voice, but the calmest energy. Calmness intimidates because it signals control. Calmness signals that you are not easily moved, not easily influenced, not easily provoked. And people fear what they cannot shake. In silence, in stillness, in restraint, true power grows. The one who stays calm dictates the tempo of every interaction. The one who maintains composure makes others adjust to him. And the one who controls his emotions does not merely play the game of life. He directs it. There is a truth so simple, so obvious, yet so uncomfortable that most people spend their entire lives denying it. Every person you meet is driven by self-interest. Not morality, not loyalty, not idealism, self-interest. It shapes decisions, relationships, alliances, betrayals, and even love. And the moment you accept this, you gain an ability most people never develop: the ability to predict human behavior with precision. People may speak noble words, but beneath them lies the same engine. What do I gain? What do I lose? How does this affect me? Some hide it behind kindness, some behind duty, some behind compassion. But peel away the layers, and the core remains untouched. When you study this core, people become readable. Their actions stop surprising you. Their contradictions stop confusing you. Their betrayals stop hurting you. Because you finally understand that they were never acting randomly. They were acting according to their needs, desires, fears, and incentives. When you observe someone through the lens of self-interest, patterns emerge. Listen closely to how people talk about their goals and frustrations. Pay attention to what they admire in others, what they envy, what they complain about, what they protect, and what they chase. These details reveal exactly what drives them. And once you know what drives them, you can predict what they will do long before they do it. Someone who craves validation will betray their own values for attention. Someone who fears loneliness will tolerate mistreatment just to avoid being alone. Someone who seeks power will hide their ambition behind charm and humility until the right moment. Someone who values security will side with whoever seems strongest, regardless of loyalty or history. These patterns repeat across all ages, all cultures, all personalities, because self-interest is the universal language of human nature. Most people get blindsided because they assume others think like them. They project their own loyalty onto people who don't deserve it. They project their sincerity onto people playing a role. They project their generosity onto people who only take. This is how people get used, manipulated, disappointed. But when you embrace self-interest as the foundation of behavior, you stop projecting fantasies and start reading reality. Watch how someone reacts when they have something to gain. Then compare it to how they behave when they have nothing to gain. That contrast will tell you who they truly are. Anyone can act loyal when the relationship benefits them, when the environment is comfortable, when the stakes are low. But when their needs are threatened, their true nature emerges. And that is the moment when most people reveal whether they are allies, opportunists, or liabilities. Do not expect people to act against their self-interest. You will only frustrate yourself. Instead, align with it. If you want cooperation, make the outcome beneficial for both sides. If you want loyalty, create an environment where loyalty serves them more than betrayal does. If you want respect, position yourself as someone whose approval benefits them and whose disappointment costs them. You do not force people to change their nature. You simply learn how to navigate it. This is not manipulation. It is understanding. It is the ability to see the hidden motivations behind actions, the quiet fears behind decisions, the unspoken desires behind behavior. Once you master this perspective, no one can blindside you again. You will know who can be trusted and who must be watched, who deserves your time and who deserves distance, who is aligned with your path and who will eventually become an obstacle. Self-interest is not a flaw in humanity. It is a constant, and constants can be predicted. When you study what people want, you learn what they will pursue. When you study what people fear, you learn what they will avoid. When you study what people value, you learn what they will protect at all costs. This knowledge arms you with an advantage that most people never unlock: the power to see the next move before the other player even touches the board. In the arena of life, most people fail not because they lack intelligence or strength, but because they lack patience. They rush into decisions, rush into relationships, rush into opportunities, driven by impulse and emotion instead of strategy. They crave immediate results, instant gratification, fast success, quick validation. And this impatience is precisely why they remain powerless. Because the world is not shaped by the impulsive. It is shaped by those who wait, watch, calculate, and move only when the moment is advantageous. Strategic patience is the weapon that separates those who are controlled from those who control. When you learn to think 3 moves ahead, you stop acting like a participant and start acting like an architect. You begin to see the long game hidden beneath short-term emotions. You stop responding to everything that provokes you, because you understand that reacting instantly gives your opponent information, and information is power. You stop chasing immediate comfort, because you recognize comfort is a trap designed to keep you exactly where you are. You stop trying to win small battles that do not matter, because you are focused on the larger war. Most people act as if every moment is an emergency. They want results now, revenge now, answers now. But those who master the game of life understand that timing is everything. One well-chosen moment can achieve more than 100 impulsive attempts. One strategic silence can reveal more truth than 1,000 arguments. One step back can position you for 10 steps forward. Power belongs to those who know when to move and when to wait. Strategic patience is not passivity. It is preparation. It is the discipline to remain still while others exhaust themselves. It is the wisdom to observe the battlefield before stepping onto it. It is the ability to gather information, study motives, analyze weaknesses, and predict outcomes long before anyone else realizes a game is being played. When you stay patient, you gain clarity. When you rush, you lose perspective. Look at how people reveal themselves over time. The impulsive expose their intentions quickly. They speak too soon, trust too easily, commit without thought, overreact when challenged. Their emotional outbursts give away their weaknesses. Their impatience forces them into traps created by their own urgency. But the patient player never reveals his hand. He lets others show their motives first. He lets people underestimate him, misjudge him, ignore him, because every misjudgment becomes future leverage. Strategic patience also protects you from manipulation. Manipulators rely on your need for speed. They push you to decide quickly, commit quickly, react instantly. They want you blinded by urgency so you don't see their real intentions. But when you pause, when you delay, when you breathe before responding, you take their control away. They cannot manipulate what they cannot rush. A patient mind sees how small actions today can create massive consequences later. How one habit shapes a future identity. How one relationship alters a path. How one emotional reaction can destroy years of progress. But an impulsive mind only sees the present moment, the thrill, the anger, the temptation. And those who live inside the present moment without considering the future are always controlled by those who do. Think of every major downfall you've seen in friendships, careers, reputations. Almost all of them began with a moment of impatience. Someone spoke too soon, revealed too much, acted too quickly, reacted too emotionally, chased something before they understood it, trusted someone before observing them. Impulse is the silent enemy that ruins destinies. Patience is the silent force that builds them. Strategic patience doesn't mean slow movement. It means intentional movement. It means choosing your battles carefully. It means allowing time to expose who is genuine and who is dangerous. It means delaying gratification so you can build something stronger, more stable, more powerful. It means understanding that everything worth having requires time. Power, mastery, influence, confidence, respect. These are not rewards for the frantic. They are rewards for the disciplined. When you think 3 moves ahead, you become someone others cannot read, cannot predict, cannot outmaneuver. You begin to understand the consequences of every action before taking it. You choose long-term strength over short-term pleasure. You choose strategic silence over emotional noise. You choose deliberate steps over reckless leaps. And in the game of life, the player who plans beyond the moment always dominates the one who lives inside it. In this game called life, most people wander without direction, reacting to whatever the world throws at them, hoping that fairness will rescue them, that emotions will guide them, that loyalty will protect them. But you now understand what they do not. Life rewards those who see the world as it truly is, not as they wish it to be. Power belongs to those who study human nature, not those who deny it. Control belongs to those who master their emotions, not those who are enslaved by them. Influence belongs to those who understand self-interest, not those who ignore it. And victory belongs to those who think ahead, not those who act on impulse. Everything around you, every relationship, every challenge, every opportunity becomes clearer when viewed through the lens of strategy. You stop expecting people to be perfect and start anticipating what their nature will lead them to do. You stop reacting and begin calculating. You stop playing the game blindly and start directing it with intention. This is how real control is built, crafted for quietad, intelligently, patiently. You are no longer a passive participant in your own life. You are the strategist, the observer, the architect. And as you move forward with this understanding, remember that the game never stops, but neither does your ability to master it.